Is it a statement or a confession?
Is it a statement in terms of 217?
Okay,
So
217, it's a confession then.
Yes, it is a confession.
Right. Is it being disputed, the admissibility thereof? Mr. Meyiwa. Is it being disputed?
It is being disputed.
On what basis?
On the basis of that it has been obtained under duress.
Obtained under duress.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
That the deponent did not sign the statement.
The deponent did not sign the statement before Mrs. Grenier.
Correct.
The deponent did not sign the statement before Mrs. Grenier. Right?
And lastly, my Lord, the statement was not made as alleged freely and voluntarily by the deponent.
So the statement was not made freely and voluntarily.
That's correct, my Lord. Court, please.
Izathu-ke ayinikezayo ummeli athi-ke imbangela yokuthi kuphikiswane-ke nale statement ufakazi azofakaza ngaso ukuthi-ke okokuqala le statement lesi-ke akazange noma-ke waphoqwa-ke owayinikeza ngaso waphoqwa ukuthi-ke anikeze ngaso akazange futhi asayinde phambi kwakhe-ke umagistrate lona okhona lana ozoba ufakazi nokuthi futhi-ke akazange akusho noma-ke lokho okulapho okubhaliwe lapho kwangaphumi kuyena-ke ngokuyithandela.
Just one aspect, Mr. Jonas, I know you for years. You are competent to interpret from Afrikaans into English, English into Zulu, Afrikaans into Zulu, and vice versa.
Correct, sir.
Yeah, let's put it on record. Because we'll have to interpret in English for, I don't know, for some of our colleagues who don't understand Afrikaans. Are there people, colleagues here, who don't understand Afrikaans? Do you need an interpreter? Do you need interpreters?
Correct,
Hello?
English, so I can understand a bit of Afrikaans, but I need interpretation.
Mr. Jonas is here. He'll interpret for all of you. Okay. Yes, Mr. Baloy.
As indicated, the witness is witness number 91.
91, right, yeah.
Yeah, on the witness list. Mevrouw Grenier, wat is die van beroep?
Mrs. Just net voor de antwoord minuten kan ze moeten. Mrs. Grenier, what is your occupation? Ufuna ukwazi kumshushisi ukuthi umsebenzi awenzayo uyini emafuna antwoord.
Kantoor is verbonden.
In which office are you attached? Yiphi ke inkantolo osebenza kuyona?
My standplaas is Kempton Park. Huidiglik verrig ek aflosdienste by die Takhof Vosloorus.
My
Takhof van Boksburghof.
Okay, kan ons net stadig hou. My office is Kempton Park, but currently I am working on a what is aflos? Yeah. Relief, sorry my lord, as a reliever at Vosloorus Court, which is a branch of Boksburg. Ngisebenza ke eKempton Park kodwa manje la engisiza khona ke ihhovisi noma inkantolo eyaseVosloorus engaphansi kwayo iBoksburg.
Wat is die hoofsetel van die Vosloorus Takhof?
Boksburghof.
It's Boksburg Court. The question was which is the main branch of the Vosloorus Court, and it is Boksburg Court. Inkantolo yaseVosloorus ingaphansi ke kwayo inkantolo yaseBoksburg.
And hoe lank is u Landros?
How long have you been a magistrate?
Sedert 1996, 1 Julie.
Since the 1st of July 1996. Ukusuka ke nge-1 zika July ngo-1996 nguyena umanje.
My permanente aanstelling het eers 'n jaar later in 1997 deurgekom.
And my permanent appointment only came in a year later, that is now in 1997. Ukuthi ngiqashwe-ke ngokuthi-ke ngisebenzeke noma ngime permanent kweza-ke emuva kwesikhathi esingangonyaka ngo-1997.
Nou, voor u landros geword het, wat het u gedoen?
Before becoming a magistrate, what were you doing? Ngaphambilini kokuthi-ke ube uyena umantshi, yini owawuyenza?
Ek was 'n staatsaanklaer van beroep met ingang van 1 Desember 1990.
Okay, just a minute. In December 1999, né?
Nee, 1990. 1990.
Yeah, that's correct, I get that. I was a prosecutor,
Tot en met 1 Juli toe
a magistrate.
Dis korrek.
That is correct. Yebo-ke lokho-ke kwaze ngaba uyena-ke umshushisi kwaze kwayoshaya-ke uJuly noma i-1 zikaJuly uma ngithola-ke umsebenzi wokuthi ngibe yimantshi.
is het correct? U was
1 July 1996, up until your permanent appointment in 1997, you were an acting magistrate. Yes, that is correct. Yebo kuyiqiniso ukuthi kusukela-ke ngazo i-1 July 1996 kwaze kwaba u-1997-ke ngangiwu-magistrate kodwa ngingasiyena-ke u-magistrate o-permanent.
Ek toon aan u 'n dokument wat ingehandig is as bewijslik JJ.
I'm giving you now or showing you a document which has been handed in as Exhibit JJ.
Kan u vir of die dokument identifiseer?
Can you identify the document for the court? Kunale document ke engizokubonisa yona ke esifakiwe noma idlulisiwe enkantolo nanjengesiboniso noma ke Exhibit JJ.
Dit is daardie dokument voor.
U aangedui het verwyder is en dit is die konfessie wat ek afgeneem het op 24 Junie 2020.
I have the original document in front of me, and it is without the portions that you have already indicated which were scrapped out, and it is a confession that was taken on the 24th of June 2020. Phambi kwami nginale document ke ekuyiyona ke noma ebizwa ngokuthi ke original futhi ke le ndawo okhulume ngazo lezi ezikhishiwe noma eziqishiwe noma ezisuliwe azikho kulena enginayo lena ke ila biko noma kubizwa ngokuthi ke confession eyathathwa ke nge-24 zika June 2020.
Kan u kortliks vir of die agtergrond gee van die gebeure wat aanleiding gegee het tot die verrigting wat geboekstaaf is in bewijslik JJ?
Can you just briefly give the court a background of what happened or transpired with regards to that which is documented on this exhibit which is JJ? Uma nje kafishane ke usungatshela ke inkantolo ukuthi kwenzekani noma kwenzeka kanjani ke ukuthi ke kubhalwe lokho okubhaliwe la kule document ephambi kwakho exhibit JJ.
Die kantoorhoof van die Hoofhof in Boksburg, wie ook die senior landros is, mevrou Du Plessis,
Just look. The senior magistrate, who is also the office head of the magistrate in Boksburg, which is Mrs. Du Plessis, Mrs. Du Plessis, yeah.
het my op 24 Junie 2020 ongeveer 11 uur die oggend by Vosloorus telefonies gekontak.
Contacted me on the 24th of June 2020 at 11 o'clock in the morning telephonically, yes, he contacted me telephonically at Boksburg Magistrate Court.
No.
Vosloorus. Yamari. At Vosloorus Magistrate Court. Okwenzeka-ke lana ukuthi loyo-ke ophethe khona lapho-ke enkantolo yase Vosloorus ekuyena uMrs. Du Plessis ngazo i-24 zika June 2020 isikhathi kwaku-11 ekseni wangishayela ucingo. Yeah.
Het die dienste verrig te Vosloorus Hof op die betrokke dag?
Did you perform duties at Vosloorus Court on the mentioned date?
Dis korrek.
That is correct. Kuyiqiniso ukuthi ngalelo langa lelo ke ngangisebenza kuyona ke leyo nkantolo leyo eyase Vosloorus.
Ja, u kan voortgaan.
Sy het my versoek om 'n bekentenis af te neem te Boksburg Hof.
She requested me to take down a confession at Boksburg Court wase engicela ke ukuthi ngithathe ke noma ngiyokwenza noma ngiyobhala phansi ke i-confession kwinkantolo yase-Boksburg.
Aangesien sy self en van die ander senior landroste wat meer senior in posisie was, nie beskikbaar was om die konfessie af te neem nie weens hulle betrokkenheid na bewering by artikel 205 wat hulle self hanteer het met betrekking tot die aangeleentheid waarvoor ek versoek was om 'n konfessie af te neem.
Reason being that she herself, as well as other senior magistrates who were much senior, were in no position or couldn't be involved or take part in the taking down of the confession, seeing that they were personally involved in the section 2 noma ke ozakwabo ababengaphezulu ke kuyena ngesikhundla noma ababe senior kuyena ke bengakwazi ke noma bengakwazi ukuthi bangayenza the confession lena ngoba ke kwakusekukhona ke ngaphambilini lokho kubizwa ngokuthi ke section 205 okuhlanganisa
Ek wil dit net regstel.
Martin veel skade doen as dit op rekord geplaas word.
it is yes my lord, but as the
Mevrou Du Plessis het die meegedeel dat hulle gediskwalifiseer is aangesien hulle reeds betrokke was by artikel 205 aansoeke aangaande hierdie aangeleentheid.
So Mrs. Du Plessis informed you, in other words, that they were now being they were disqualified in proceeding or taking down the confession, seeing that they had already been involved in the section 205 of the very same matter.
Dit is korrek. Ek
Sorry.
Yes.
I'll actually to raise an objection in relation to this evidence.
Yes.
It amounts to hearsay. Unless Mrs. Du Plessis will be called to testify and confirm the contents thereof.
Was it?
As a court, please, my lord, it's not important. We're not going to belabor the point.
This well,
We're not going to dwell on
ignore
that.
that evidence.
Yes, as a court, please.
She received a call from Mrs. Du Plessis.
What kind of superhero are you?
To further
weer die middag nadat my hof afgehandel is by Vosloorus by Boksburghof gearriveer.
Okay. 25, né? I arrived at I arrived then at the court, mentioned court Malota, at 14:25 in the afternoon after my court. Okay, I'm just mixing these two courts. My apologies. Get it right. I'm confusing these two, Vosloorus and Boksburg, my lord. Ngafika emuva kokuthi inkantolo la ebengisebenza khona yayise iqedile ngalelo langa lelo.
Yeah.
Ek het na die kantoor beweeg wat vir my afneem wat vir my voorberei is.
Okay. I then proceeded to the office that was pointed out to me, which was room number 2, and where the confession would have then been prepared for me. Ngase ngihamba ke ngiya kulelo room ke noma kulelo camera lelo ke abangikhombisa lona ke ekwaku room number 2 la ekwakuse khona ke i-confession leyo engangise ngizokwenzelwa khona.
Ja, kan jy net dit opklaar? Wat was vir u gereed gemaak?
Can you just place that on record? What was prepared for you?
Net die kantoor was beskikbaar gestel neem.
It was only the office, my lord, that I was going to make use of, so that I would just have a place available for me, together with the deponent and whoever would have been present. Kwakuyiroom nje lelo kuphela engangizohlala kulona ke kanye futhi naloyo ke engangizoxoxisana ngikhulumisane naye nomunye ke okwakuzoba nesidingo sokuthi abe khona lapho.
In die gang het ek 'n sterk teenwoordigheid van Ekurhuleni metropolisiebeamptes gevind wat gewapend was, wat daar rondgestaan en beweeg het.
In the passage, I then found a strong contingent of Ekurhuleni Metro Police who was standing there as well as moving around and who were also armed. ngathi uma sengihamba ke epassagini ngathola ke amaphoyisa ke noma emetro police asekuruleni ayekhona ke lapho kulelo passage lelo futhi ke ayehlomile amanye ayemile amanye ke ayehamba noma enyakazi.
Een kant van hulle by die of naby die deur van die betrokke kantoor het ek 'n jongerige man gesien staan wat in handboeie was.
On the one side of where they were, on one side of the passage, just close to the door, I saw a young man who was handcuffed. Ngase ngibona ke kwakhona ke lapho kolunye nje uhlangothi ke la ababemi khona kunensizwa ke eyayimi lapho ke futhi ifakwe ozankosi.
Hy het weggestaan van die betrokke beweging van die Ekurhuleni metropolisielede en tesame met hom het gestaan 'n ander ouerige man wat netjies geklee was in 'n pak klere wat by hom gestaan het.
He was just standing away from the movement of the Ekurhuleni Metro Police, and next to him was an elderly gentleman who was smartly dressed, who was clothed in a suit. Eduze kwakhe ke kwakumi ke kunobaba ke ongathi ke uma umbhekile ke yena ke kwakubaba osemdala noma osekhululeke yena ke owayegqoke nje kahle futhi ke egqoke isuit.
Ek het 'n beampte genader van hierdie Ekurhuleni beamptes wie later aan my bekend geword het as meneer Liesering en versoek dat al die name van die betrokke Ekurhuleni persone wat teenwoordig is lys opgestel moet word en aan my verskaf moet word.
I then approached a gentleman who later became known to me as a Mr. Liesering, and also requested the gentleman to provide me with names of all the Ekurhuleni Metro Police officers that were there, and to give me that list. Ngase ke ngikhulumisana ke nomlisa ke lapho kamuva ke engathi ke uma sengimazi ke ngathola ukuthi uMr. Liesering ngamcela ke ukuthi angiphe uhla lamagama lwalabo ababe khona lapho abasebenzela Ekurhuleni Metro Police.
Die persoon in die boeie, die moet aan my gewees nie.
The person that was handcuffed, the gentleman that was standing next to him with wearing a suit, as well as the Ekurhuleni Metro Police officers, none of them were known to me. Kulona ke owayifaka uzankosi lona owayemeduze kwakhe ke egqoke isuti kanye nalabo abasebenzela iEkurhuleni Metro Police akekho noyedwa engangimazi kubona.
Meneer Liesering was nie beïndruk met die feit dat ek versoek het dat die lede se name aan my verskaf word wie die betrokke persoon wat die bekentenis moes aflê vergesel het nie.
Mr. Liesering was not impressed with my request to provide me with a list of names of the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Metro Police officers, as well as the person who was accompanying the gentleman or the gentleman that was handcuffed.
En ek het hom maar net gedui.
Die staat gaan later vir meneer Constable Liesering roep as 'n getuie.
Mr. Liesering will be called later as a witness. Ama Metro Police officer lawo asekuruleni kanye nalona futhi owayehamba nalona ke owayefaka ozankosi umshushisi useyasho ukuthi Mr. Liesering loyo
Dat alle persone betrokke by hierdie aangeleentheid en wat die betrokke persoon vergesel se name benodig word om aangeheg te word aan die konfessie vir deursigtigheid en hy het aangedui dat hy dit verstaan.
Mr. Liesering was informed that the names of all those that took part or that were involved in this matter, as well as the person accompanying the gentleman that was in handcuffs, that those were needed, and that Mr. Liesering was then understood that. uMr Lissering ke wase etshelwa ke imbangela noma izathu ke sokuthi ke kuyisidingo ke sokuthi lawo magama lewo ke ayadingeka ke ukuthi la abe khona ke futhi azothi futhi ke abekwe ke noma hlanganiswe nayo ke i-confession lena, and that it was also necessary in order to attach it to the confession. That list would be attached to the confession.
Die senior landers was op daardie stadium ook in die gang en het so skuins agter meneer Lissering gestaan, ongeveer so 'n meter van hom af.
So the senior landers, no? The senior magistrate was also present in that very same passage, just slightly behind Mr. Lissering, and was just a meter away from Mr. Lissering at that point. Ngaleso sikhathi leso ke umagistrate ke okuyena ke ophethe ke noma ke oyinhloko ke wayekhona ke kuleyo passage leyo, futhi ke nje emuva kwakhe uLissering, futhi ke ibanga elingangemeter emuva kwakhe uMr Lissering.
Meneer Lissering het aanvanklik voordat ek hom verduidelik het waarom die name benodig word.
Mr. Lissering initially mentioned it to me that before I could explain to him the reason why the list was needed, informed me or said to me that he felt intimidated by me or by myself. Wasengitshela ke uMr Lissering ngaphambilini nje kokuthi ngimtshele ke imbangela noma izathu sokuthi kwakungani amagama lawo ke efuneka ukuthi ke usezizwa njengomuntu ke osatshiswayo ke osatshiswa yimina.
Goed, daar was nou hierdie gesprek tussen u en meneer Constable Lissering oor die lys van almal wat teenwoordig daar was. Wat het toe gebeur na daardie gesprek?
There was now this conversation between yourself and Mr. Lissering about this list. What happened thereafter? Emuva kokuthi kusekhona le nkulumo phakathi kwakho noLissering mayelana namagama, kwasekwenzekani emuva kwalokho?
Nadat ek aan hom verduidelik het waarom die lys benodig is, het hy verstaan en ek het in die kantoor inbeweeg.
After I then informed him the reason why the list was needed, he understood. I then moved into the office. Kuthe emuva kwalokho ke esezwile ke uma ngimchazela ngase ngena ke ngaphakathi ehhovisi.
Watter kantoor is hierdie no?
Dit is kamer nommer 2. Wat dan maar uitgewys is as die kamer of kantoor wat ek moet gebruik vir die konfessie.
Which office is that now? That is room number 2, which was pointed out to me as the room that I was going to use for the confession. Ile room ke noma le camera ke eli number 2 engangikhonjiswe lona ukuthi yilona engizolisebenzisa.
Ja, jy kan voortgaan.
Ek het my rekenaar opgestel en ek het my dokumentasie reg gekry waarna ek weer uit is na die senior landros toe.
I then set up my PC or my computer, and then I also prepared my documents, whereafter I went out again to the senior magistrate. Ngase ngilungisa ke iPC noma ke computer yami, ngase futhi ngikhipha ke amaphepha ke noma ke ama documents engizowasebenzisa, ngase ngiphuma ke emuva kwalokho ngaya kuyena ke usenior magistrate.
Ek is voorsien van 'n pro forma vorm wat nie ingevul was nie.
I was provided with a pro forma form which was not completed, which was blank. Ngase nginikezwa ke iphepha ke ekubizwa ngokuthi i-pro forma ekwakungabhalwe lutho kulona.
En dit is die huidige vorm wat voor die hof is.
And it is the current form which is before the court. Iyona ke lena ephambi kwecourt njengamanje.
Dis nou bevestig hier.
Ek het terugbeweeg, dis korrek. Ek het terugbeweeg in die kantoorlede wie later aan my bekend geword het as Sergeant Mugane.
I then went back and moved back into the office, and together with me as I moved into the office, it was a police officer who was wearing a private, who was in private, who later became known to me as Sergeant Mugane. Ngathi ke uma sengibuyela noma sengena ke phakathi kwioffice lelo kwase ngilandelwa ke iphoyisa kamuva ke engaye ngalazi nanjengo Sergeant Mugane.
Terselfdertyd het die tolk inbeweeg as ook die betrokke man wat ek buite gesien het wat in boeye was, as ook die betrokke persoon wat saam met hom daar gestaan het ingekom in die kantoor in.
At the same time, my lord, the interpreter moved in or went into the room, and then the gentleman in handcuffs moved into the room, as well as the person that accompanied that gentleman in handcuffs who was wearing a suit also went into the room. kwathi ke kwasengena naye ke uTolika kwangena ke nalomlisa owayefakwe ozankosi kanye futhi ke kwangena nalo owayemkhapha noma ehamba naye owayegqoke isuti.
Ja, u kan
Die
voortgaan.
betrokke tolk het aan die oorkant van die tafel aan my linkerkant gaan sit en die betrokke persoon in die handboeie het langs haar gaan sit aan die oorkant van die tafel aan my regterkant.
Okay. The interpreter sat in front of me, but on the more to the left, to my left, on the other side of the table. The person in the handcuffs sat next to the interpreter, which would be now to my right. Utolika ke wase ehlala ke phambi. Utolika wase ehlala ke ngaphambili njena lapha kodwa ke kuhlangothi la ngaku left kwase kuthi lona ke ofake ozankosi wahlala phambi kwami ke na ke kuhlangothi la ngakwesokudla.
May I withdraw my objection? May I withdraw my objection, my lord? It's something that has been clarified under interpretation.
What was that, sir?
I was heard that the interpreter said,
It's
which
a sit.
was
Langs me.
instead of said.
No,
Thank you.
it's Afrikaans. He sat on the other side of the table and the deponent sat next to the interpreter. Okay.
Die man
Susie, wag, dra u kennis van die naam van die tolk?
Do you know the name of the interpreter?
Ja, dit was 'n mevrou Motla Ping wat gestasioneer is sover ek weet by Boksburg die Hoofhof.
Yes, it was Mrs. Mutlaping who, as far as my knowledge goes, is stationed at Boksburg Court. Utolika ke uyabuza ukuthi amazini igama yebo kwaku Mrs. Mutlaping engimazi ke ukuthi usebenza kwinkantolo yase Boksburg.
Ja, kan voortgaan.
Die betrokke man in die pak klere wie later aan my bekend geword het as meneer Mjiyaku het skuins agter die deposant gaan sit op 'n stoel. Dit was die enigste ander beskikbare stoel in die kantoor. Die kantoor is 'n redelike klein kantoortjie.
Was it van Mjiyaku? Was it was Okay. The gentleman that was wearing a suit then went to sit just slightly behind the gentleman in the handcuffs, which was handcuffed, and in one of the chairs, which was the only chair that was available, because the office was a small office. Wasekuthi ke ubaba ke lona wayehamba ke noma ke ekhaphe lona wayifake ozankosi okuwumnika ekwakumnumzana umjiyako yena ke wase ehlala nje emuva ke kwalona owayefake ozankosi.
Net vir rekorddoeleindes kan u die naam Njiako spel?
M-J-I-A-K-O.
Mjiako is spelled as M-J-I-Y-A-K-O. Mjiako loyo.
Ja, u kan voortgaan.
Meneer Mjiyaku het skuins agter na die linkerkant van die persoon in die boeie gesit.
Mr. Mjiako sat just slightly behind, more to the left side of the person in the handcuffs. Mjiako ke wase ehlala ke emuva nje kancane ke ngakuhlangothi lwangaku left walo owayefakwe ozankosi.
Sergeant Mogani het vir my aangedui dat hy van die nasionale Cold Case Investigation Unit in Pretoria is.
Sergeant Mukhane informed me that he was from the National Cold Case Investigation Unit in Pretoria. Sorry. Yena ke uSergeant Mukhane wangazisa noma wangichazela ke ukuthi ubuya kuloko noma ke ku-unit ababizwa ngokuthi National Cold Case Investigation in Pretoria.
En dat hy die persoon is wie die deposant na die kantoor gebring het.
And that he was the person who brought the deponent to the office nokuthi uyena-ke owayelethe loyo-ke owayezokhulumisana-ke noma ezokunika-ke istatement kulona lelo hhovisi.
Soos jou wag, die stad gaan later vir Sergeant Mogane roep as 'n
So,
getuie.
dit sal tydelik toegelaat word, daai getuienis in verband met die uitgawings van Mr. Miyako. Mogane, sorry.
Sergeant Mogane.
Sergeant Mogane.
The state indicates that the state will call Sergeant Mogane at a later stage, and the court indicates that portion will be provisionally admitted.
Sergeant Mogane is versoek om sy aanstellingssertifikaat te toon aan my, welke hy dit ook gedoen het, en reëlings is met hom getref om afskrifte te maak van hierdie aanstellingssertifikaat wat ek later aan die konfessie vasgeheg het.
Sergeant Mogane was then requested to produce his appointment certificate, which he did, and I also made a request for him to make a copy or copies of that appointment certificate for it to be attached to the confession. Ngase ngimcela-ke uSergeant Mogane loyo-ke ukuthi akangikhombiseke lokhu okushoyo-ke noma-ke okuyinkomba yokuthi ngempela-ke uyiphoyisa lokhu abakubiza ngokuthi-ke appointment certificate into awayenza-ke leyo. Ngase ngimcela-ke ukuthi enze ikhophi leyo-ke ezohlanganiswa-ke nayo i-confession leyo.
Terwyl ons op hierdie onderwerp is, kan jy net vir jou daardie foto van Sergeant Mogane aantoon?
Whilst we are on that subject, can you just show the court that photo of Sergeant Mogane?
Dit is aangeheg as A, bewystuk A, of aanhangsel A, tot die dokument.
It is indicated as Exhibit A to this, Annexure A to this document, my lord. Lana-ke u-Annexure, noma-ke u-A, kulona-ke le document leyo.
Dit volg net na die sertifikaat deur die tolk, is dit reg?
Dis korrek.
Does it follow just after the certificate of the interpreter? Yes, it is correct.
Nou, u het die verskillende posisies van al die mense wat in die kantoor was uitgespel. Waar het Sergeant Mogane plaasgeneem in die kantoor?
You've already indicated the different positions where the different people sat in the office. Where did Sergeant Mogane, where was he? uSergeant Mogane yena manje ngoba usushilo ukuthi abanye labo behlezi kuphi nendawo kule office leli uMogane yena wayekuphi nendawo.
Uitdanningssertifikaat getoon.
He stood his documents as well as his appointment certificate to me. uMogane yena ke wayeme kuhlangothi la ngakwesokudla ke letafula noma kuhlangothi la ngasokudla la engangihlezi khona ke ngalenkathi enginikeza ke icertificate leso ke esikhombisayo ukuthi ngempela uyiphoyisa nokuthi uqale nokuthi abe yiphoyisa.
Ja.
Ek het aan hom ook dieselfde versoek gerig dat die persone wat van Ekurhuleni daar was, hulle aanstellingssertifikate, afskrifte moet voorsien, genotuleer kan word wie almal teenwoordig was.
I then made the same request to him that the Ekurhuleni Metropolitan ngase ngenza leso sicelo nakuyena-ke ukuthi labo be-Metropolis noma Ekurhuleni Metropolis ababe khona lapho ukuthi nabo-ke kwenziwe amakhophi awo ama-appointment certificates abo ukuthi-ke kuzobonakala-ke noma-ke kuzobhalwa-ke ukuthi obani ababe khona lapho ngalelo langa.
Daar is aan my aangetoon dat al die beamptes die gang verlaat.
Die bonke there more or less babe bangaki-ke ama-officer aye lapho.
Ek het nie getel presies hoeveel daar was nie, maar daar was 'n sterk teenwoordigheid van ongeveer ten minste 8.
I didn't count as to how many, but there was this strong contingent of that was there of more or less or roughly about 8. Angazeke noma angibabalanga-ke kodwa-ke babe baningi-ke ababe lapho engathi nje kwakungaba u-8.
Ek het nie weer die kantoor op daai stadium verlaat nie en sou ook dis nie kon sê of hulle wel die gang verlaat het nie.
I didn't leave the office again thereafter, so I couldn't confirm as to whether indeed they had left the passage. Angiphumanga-ke lapho futhi noma ke kulelo office futhi ngakho-ke ngangeke ngisho ukuthi ngempela-ke babe sebehambile noma cha.
Sergeant Mogane het vir my meegedeel dat slegs 2 beamptes buite die kantoordeur sal wees en hulle aanstellingssertifikate, afskrifte daarvan is aan my verskaf wat aangeheg is tot die konfessie later as B en C.
Sergeant Mukhane then informed me that only 2 officers would be present outside the door, and their copies of their appointment certificates were then provided to me, which are attached here as annexure B and C. Wase engitshela ke uMukhane ukuthi babili kuphela ke abazosala ke abazoma ngaphandle ke eminyango bona ke ama copy ke certificate zabo bezoqashwa uzonikeza akhona ke lana uB kanye no C.
Kan u weer eens uit hoofde van bevestig hier net hulle name op record plaas?
Can you just put their names on records?
Die een beampte is meneer Liesering,
The one,
wie ek vroeër gepraat het in die gang,
the one officer is Mr. Lissering, the one that I spoke to earlier on in the passage,
en die ander beampte is 'n meneer Jonathan.
and the other officer is Mr. Jonathan. Sorry, uchaza ke amagama alaba abawu2 athi babeme ngaphandle ke Mr. Lissering akhulumile ngaye ngaphambilini kanye no Mr. Jonathan. Ibona ka babeme ngaphandle ke eminyango.
Ja, u kan voortgaan.
Nadat Sergeant Mukhane al die relevante inligting aan my verskaf het wat benodig is om die konfessie te voltooi ten opsigte van die polisiestasie en die kasnommer en sy naam en van waar hy is, het ek hom gelas om buite die kantoor te wag en die kantoor te verlaat en hy het dit gedoen en die deur is toegemaak.
After Sergeant Mukhane had then provided me with all the details, my lord, that is now the police station, the case number, his particulars, where he was coming from, I then requested him to leave the office, and the door was then closed. Emuva kokuthi ke uMukhane esenginikeze yonke ke imininingwane mayelana ke necala ke noma udaba lolu ke ukuthi libuya kuphi ipolice station imininingwane yakhe kanye futhi ne case number, ngase ngimcela ke ukuthi aphumeke emuva kwalokho isicabha savala.
In die betrokke kantoor op daai stadium was myself, die tolk, die beampte in die deposant in boeye en dan ook die persoon in die pak klere, meneer Mjiyaku.
People that were now in the office at that time, it was myself, the interpreter, the person in the handcuffs, as well as the person that was wearing the suit, Mr. Mjiyaku. Kwase kusala ke office mina uTolika lona ke wayefakwe ozankosi kanye ke futhi naloyo owayegqoke isuit.
Ja, u kan voortgaan.
Ek het op 'n baie informele basis met die deposant begin praat om hom op sy gemak te stel indien daar enige probleme sou wees.
I then spoke to the deponent in a more informal way, just to let him feel to be at ease if maybe there was any issue or any problem with him. Ngase ngikhulumisana naye ke loyo ke owayena lo owayefakwe ozankosi ngendlela ke engathi kwakungaqondi noma kwangekho nje formally ke ukuthi nje uma kwakunekhona inkinga awayenayo noma eyayikhona ke ukumenza nje ukuthi ke akhululeke.
En het vasgestel
Ekskuus, in watter taal het u met die deposant gebesig?
In which language were you now speaking to the deponent? Iliphi ulimi owukhulumisana naye ngalo?
Ek het Engels met hom gepraat en dit is getolk.
I spoke to him in English and it was interpreted. Ngakhulumisana naye ke ngesingisi noma English kwase kuhunyushwa.
Tydens hierdie gesprek het hy vir my meegedeel dat meneer Njiyaku is sy prokureur.
And in that conversation, he informed me that Mr. Mjiyaku was his legal representative. Wase engitshela ke kuleyo nkulumo leyo ukuthi umnumzana Mjiyaku ummeli wakhe.
Hy het ook aan my meegedeel dat hy sal graag die verrigtinge wou voortsit in die teenwoordigheid van hierdie meneer Mjiako.
He further informed me that he would like to proceed in the presence of Mr. Mjiako. Wasengitshela-ke nokuthi-ke angathanda ukuthi aqhubekeke uMr. Mjiako ekhona.
Meneer Mjiako het vir my sy aanstellingssertifikaat getoon en sy Fidelity Fund sertifikaat, welke nommer ek ook genotuleer het op die dokument as 04415 van 2020.
Mr. Mjiako produced to me his appointment certificate as well as his fidelity funds with the number which I noted on this document, which is 04415 of 2020. Mr. Mjiako ke wase engibonisa ke naye ke esakhe certificate esishoyo ukuthi ngempela ke uyasebenza noma umsebenzi wakhe wenzayo yini, kanye ke nokubiza ngokuthi Fidelity Funds nale number eku-04415 of 2020.
No, hierdie aanstellingssertifikaat, wat het dit behels? Wat was dit geweest?
This appointment certificate, what was it? What did it contain?
Dit het aangetoon dat hy aangestel is as 'n gekwalifiseerde prokureur.
It indicated that it is been appointed as a qualified lawyer. Leso certificate ke sasisho ke noma simvuma ke ukuthi ngempela ke uyena ummeli ke noma uqashiwe ke noma usebenza kanje ngayo ummeli.
Meneer Mjiako het dan ook bevestig aan my dat hy wel die rasverteenwoordiger is van die betrokke persoon voor my.
Mr. Mjiako also then confirmed that he was indeed the legal representative of the person that was before me. Waseke uMjiako ngempela ke ekushoka noma ekuvuma ke lokho ukuthi ngempela ke kwaye uyena ummeli waloyo muntu ke owayephambi kwami.
Yes.
Ek het dan voortgegaan met die dokument en die invul daarvan nadat die persoon in die boeie homself voorgestel het aan my as Bongani Sandiso Ntanzi en ek sy betrokke besonderhede van hom afbekom het en ingevul het op die verklaring.
I then started or proceeded with the completion of this document. That was now after the person in front of me or before me introduced himself to me as Bongani Sandiso Ntanzi. Now this now the completion, then now proceeded with the completion of the document. Ngase ngiqala ke ukuthi manje ngigcwaliseke noma ngibhaleke idocument lena ke emuva kokuthi umuntu loyo ke eseyichazileke ukuthi yena noma ezithulileke kumina ukuthi uBongani Sandiso Ntanzi.
Ek het begin dan voorts met bladsy 1 wat lees as volg: note details of the opponent's general appearance, mood and any noteworthy action, en het ek voortgegaan om sy kleredrag en sy optrede en houding voor my te notuleer.
Okay. I then started now with the completion of this document where now it says note details of the opponent's general appearance, mood or any noteworthy actions. That is when now I started with now describing that is now the person in front of me or before me, the clothing, his clothing. Wat het hy nog genoem? Sy kleredrag en
Hoe hy optree.
as well as his conduct. Ngase ngimchaza ke manje ke ukuthi indlela ke engimbona ngayo nanjengoba ephambi kwami ke agqokile kanye futhi ke nendlela abonakala engayo.
Ek het hom gevra of hy enige mediese toestand of beserings wil genotuleer het, waarna hy my dan ook geantwoord het daarop.
I then
En ek het dit so genotuleer.
I asked him whether he had any medical conditions, any injuries that he would like me to note or to record, to write down, and I noted it or recorded it as such. Ngase ngimbuza ukuthi mhlambe khona ke la angaphathekile kahle ke khona ke ngwasempilweni noma khona ukulimala anako yini, ngase ngibhala ke ngaleyo ndlela ke angichazela ngayo.
Goed, ons sal Antons terugkom na daardie inskrywing wat jy gemaak het.
We'll get back to that inscription which you
Ja,
made
jy
there.
kan voortgaan.
Ek het voortgegaan om die dokument te volg en die vrae te vra soos wat dit uitgetik is op die proforma vorm en te notuleer wat die antwoorde was.
I then proceeded now with the form, that is now the completion of the form, and also posing the questions or putting the questions as they are on the pro forma form, and noted down the answers. Ngase ngiqhubeka ukuthi ngibuzeke imibuzo ngalendlela ke ebhalwe ngayo kuyona ke le form lena nokuthi ke impendulo ke ngibhale phansi nazo.
Excuse, u het later u het vroeër vir jou gesê u het hierdie vorm bevestig hier. Dis aan nie verskaf. Dit was skoon geweest. Wie het die vorm aan nie verskaf?
Earlier on, you informed the court, or you told the court that this performer was given to you or was provided to you, and it was not completed. In other words, it was a blank. Who provided you with this performer?
Die senior landros mevrou Du Plessis.
The senior magistrate, Mrs. Du Plessis. Ushilo ke ngaphambilini ukuthi iform lena ke wathi uma ke wayinikezwa futhi uma uyinikeza ke bangabhalwe lutho kuyona. Ubani wakunikeza? Uthi ke senior magistrate Mrs. Du Plessis.
Het u van tevore 'n bekentenis afgeneem?
Did you previously or had you previously taken down a confession?
Dis korrek.
That is correct. Ingabe ngaphambilini lokho bakubiza ukuthi i-confession wawuke wakwenza yini wakuthatha yini? Yebo kunjalo.
Min of meer hoeveel?
More or less how many?
Dit is moeilik om te sê aangesien ek nie pertinent rekord gehou het nie, maar ek sou sê nie minder as 50 nie.
It is difficult to say, seeing that I never kept a record of that, but I would say not less than 50. Angeke ngisho ke ukuthi ke amangakanani ke ngoba ke ngangabhali phansi ke ukuthi ke ngigcine record ukuthi mangaka, kodwa ngingasho nje ukuthi awekho ngaphansi kuka 50.
Ek wil net sê dit is ten opsigte van die hele tydperk van my beroep.
I just want to make mention that is for the whole duration of working. Ngifuna ke ukusho lokho ukuthi lokho ke noma lo 50 ngoma ngaphansi ko 50 sonke lesikhathi ngisebenza.
Nou, hierdie bevestig hier die vorm, is dit 'n standaarde vorm wat jy gebruik vir doeleindes van bekentenisse?
Now, this form, now Exhibit JJ, is a standard form that you use for confessions.
Hier is 'n standaardvorm wat by Boksburg gebruik word. Ander howe het hulle eie standaardvorms wat hulle gebruik, maar die inhoud is min of meer dieselfde en voldoen aan die bepalinge van die grondwet.
This form is a standard form that is used in Boksburg. Other offices have got their standard form, but the content is the same, but it is according to the requirements of the Constitution. Le form lena ke iyona ke esetshenziswa eBoksburg. Amanye amahhovisi ke aneyawo ke iform, kodwa lokhu okubhaliwe kuwona ke into eyodwa futhi ke hambisana ke nawo umthetho asisekelo.
Ek wil net byvoeg, hierdie is 'n riglyn. Dit beteken nie dat as landros jy voel dat jy nog vrae wil byvra, jy net gebonde is aan hierdie vrae nie en kan jy verder vra solank dit genotuleer is.
I just want to further mention that this is a guideline, but it doesn't restrict you as a magistrate that you only stick to these questions that are noted here. If it is that you want to ask further questions, as long as they're just noted or recorded down. Funa ke ukusho ukuthi ke yona ke iform lena ke yona ke esetshenziswayo ke noma ke ekuyi guideline, kodwa ke akusho lokho ukuthi na njengemanje wena ke uphelela nje kule mibuzo ebhaliwe lana. Uma kuukuthi khona eminye imibuzo ofisa ukuthi uyibuzeke, usengakwenza ke lokho ukuthi nje okufunekayo ukuthi nje uyibhale phansi.
Goed, kan voortgaan en die vorm behandel.
In hierdie betrokke geval het ek nie nodig geag om verdere vrae te vra buiten die vrae wat hier getik is nie, aangesien dit al die vereistes vir 'n konfessie dek.
Just a moment. Requirements cover. In this instance, my Lord, I did not see any need for me to ask any further questions, seeing that the questions that are here, that are typed here, cover all the requirements. Mina ke angisibonanga ke isidingo noma sibanga khona ke isidingo sokuthi ngibuzeke eminye imibuzo ke ngaphandleni kwalena ke imibuzo ekhona ke la.
Ja, ek kan voortgaan.
Nadat ek al die standaard vrae gevra het soos wat uiteengesit is in bewysstuk JJ vanaf vraag nommer 1 tot en met vraag nommer 13 en die hof en ek voortgegaan het om die konfessie af te neem nadat hy vertel het wat hy wou vertel, is elke bladsy insluitend die betrokke bladsy waaroor ek vandag getuig teruggetolk na hom toe deur die tolk.
After going through all the standard questions, which are from question number 1 up to question number 13, as well as taking down now the confession where he said everything that he wanted to say, including the page that I'm here to testify about. Everything or every page was then interpreted back to him. Emuva kokuthi ke sengibuze yonke ke imibuzo kusukela kuyena ke unumber 1 kwaze kwayofika ke kunumber 13 nokuthi ke sengiqalile ke nokuthi ngithathe ke iconfession ukuthi asho konke lokho ayefisa ukuthi akushoke kanye ke nale page le engizofakaza ngayo namuhla yonke into ke wase eyitolikelwa.
Die betrokke persoon wat met wie ek die onderhoud gevoer het, is sy ene meneer Bongani Ntanzi, soos aangedui is, en nadat elke bladsy en alles wat gedoen was in sy teenwoordigheid en neergeskryf is en neergepen is, vir hom teruggetolk is en hy aangedui dat hy tevrede is met dit wat genotuleer is hy versoek om iedere en elke bladsy te teken, welke hy dan ook gedoen het in my teenwoordigheid en in die teenwoordigheid van die tolk en in die teenwoordigheid van sy prokureur.
After myself and now the person with whom I had an interview, as I earlier on indicated that it was Mr. Bongani Ntanzi, every document completed and everything read back, and interpreted back to him. I then requested him, and after he had indicated that he was satisfied, then requested him to sign each and every page in my presence, in the presence of the interpreter, as well as in the presence of his legal representative, Mr. Mjiyako.
Okay.
Emuva ke kokuthi ke konke ke sekwenziwe ke kubhalwe phansi yonke into ke esetolikelwe konke ke okulana ke ngase ngimcela ke kukhona mina kukhona utolika kukhona kanye ke nommeli wake uMr Mjiyako ukuthi nasemuva kokuthi eshilo ke futhi ukuthi wenelisekile ke ngako konke noma ngayo yonke into ngamcela ukuthi kasayinde ipage ngayodwa kulama page lana.
Okay, mevrou ons sal Antons terugkeer na die aspect kan u maar die vorm
as is into the record.
Polisiestasie, I will read it in English because it's English.
Begin by die hoofstuk.
Statement in terms of Section 217, Act 51 of 77. Police Station and CAS number Vosloorus 636-10-2014.
Can read up to the end, it's fine, I'll interpret.
On the 24th of June 2020 at 14:30 and at Boksburg in the district of Ekurhuleni North, before me, Ms. V. Cronje, additional magistrate for the district, and behind closed doors are involved male, assisted by Mr. Dominic Ntokozi Mjiyaku on request of, on insistence of Mr. Ntanzi. No other persons present?
Yes, just a minute, just give the interpreter chance.
I requested it to just read the full, I'll interpret.
Yeah. Fidelity Fund Certificate 04415 of 2020.
Lana ke le form ifundeka ngalendlela ke ukuthi istatement ke lesenziwe ke phansi kwakhe ke usection 217 is it 21751 ka 1977 ipolice station kanye ke ne case number Vosloorus 63610 2014 ilanga ke i24 zika June 2020 isikhathi u2:30 emini 14:30 enkantolo ke yase Boksburg Ekurhuleni phambi kwami uMiss V Cronje magistrate futhi ke kuyinkantolo noma ke kuyihhovisi elivaliwe ngase ke ngibiza ke loyo ke engangizokhulumisana naye ke kuyihhovisi lami eli private room number 2 kukhona ke uMiss Evelyn Chepiso Mutlaping nanjengotolika. Phambi kwami ke kukhona ke uBongani Sandiso Ntanzi owumuntu wesilisa u1990 1202 ngilekelelwa ke uM Dominic Ntokozo Mjiyako ngesicelo sakhe ke yena ke umnumzana uNtanzi kanye ke nale number ibibiziwe yakhe ke umjiyako uFFC 04415 2020.
Ekskuus, daardie gegevens 1990-12-02 waarvan dan is dit afkomstig?
Die deposant, meneer Bongani Ntanzi, het dit aan my verskaf.
Now, those details there, 1990, 1202, where did you get the information from? The deponent, Mr. Bongani Sandiso Ntanzi, provided me with those. Uyabuza kumshushisi ukuthi lokho bhale laphayana ke u1990 1202 wakuthola kuphi uthi kumephendula ke uBongani Sandiso Ntanzi uyena ke owanginikeza leya mininingwane.
Yes, yeah.
The department was brought to my office by Sergeant Vusumuzi Mogwane, National Cold Case Investigation Unit, Pretoria. Note details of the opponent's general appearance, mood, or any noteworthy actions. It was noted that the opponent is confident, made good direct eye contact. He wore a blue medical face mask, long sleeve navy blue, light blue front top, Impala emblem, track suit jacket, and a blue denim. Both his hands were cuffed in front of him.
Just net 'n oombliekie. Dan is die gedeelte wat my geleerde vriend versoek het dat dit nie op rekord geplaas moet word.
That's now, just a moment, that's the part that my colleague requested not to be placed on record.
Okay, kan voortgaan, ekskuus.
Both hands cuffed in front of him, cuffs loose, not tight. No visible marks on face or hands.
Lana ke kusechazwa ke okay noma ke umuntu owaletha ke yena owamletha ke kuhhovisi lami uyena uSergeant Vusumuzi Mogane othi owayichaza ke nokuthi ke ubuya ke eNational Cold Case Investigation Unit ePretoria. Chazwa ke lana indlela awayibukeka engayo noma engambona engayo ke phambi kwami ukuthi ubonakala nje enokuzethemba futhi ke nokuthi nokubhekana ke ngamehlo ke kwangasimuntu ke owabalekisayo amehlo kwakune eye contact ke efake ke face noma ke imask la ebusweni eyayi blue ngombala egqoke i long sleeve e navy blue i light blue i top ngaphambili ene emblem ke ye Impala i track suit jacket kanye ke ne denim e blue zombili ke izandla zakhe ifakwe ozankosi phambi kwakhe ke kodwa ama cuffs aye loose ayengekho tight.
Hier ek sien dis amper 25:11 is dit 'n dienstige tyd om die kort verdagging te neem op hierdie stadium.
Is verdacht tot watter tyd?
15 minute.
15 minutes.
15 minute is verdacht.
doesn't even want to use that. I think at best it can be, and it also contains the statement itself, which at this stage, my lord, is inadmissible as it must still be proven.
Yeah, fine, I hear you. But if it is quoted or referred to or cited in any of the arguments, this court has to listen or see it. How do I arrive at a finding, whichever way?
Yes.
When half the evidence is not before me.
Yes.
So it's either it's used or it's not used. But if it is used, the law is clear.
Yes, that's. We agree on this. Hence, we do not want to use it at this point. But my colleagues apparently want to decide whether they are going to use it or not.
No, fine. Okay, let's go on.
But as I say, the suggestion is that we proceed, and at the later stage, they'll then make a.
So, when you say at a later stage, Mrs. Kronje is not going to be cross-examined if she finishes her evidence today?
No, not today, my lord. We have just checked her availability tomorrow. She did indicate that she can avail herself
Is that so?
Tomorrow. Yes.
Okay. Is that so?
Dis korrek.
That's correct.
All right, fine. Yes, let's go.
By the state that the witness should actually complete and finalize the examination in chief. A matter then is stood down until tomorrow morning
Stood down for what?
to continue the cross-examination of the witness.
Yeah, fine. As long as it will begin
That's correct.
at some stage.
Court.
Okay.
As the court basis, my lord, I have an objection, my lord, to that. Because the information that the state has just disclosed now, my lord, it's related to the evidence of the witness who is currently testifying. And that information, my lord,
Related to the witness who?
who is testifying.
Yeah, fine.
Yes, my lord. That information, we have not been given the opportunity to listen to it. It has just been disclosed to us, my lord, now during break. Therefore, my reasons for objection, my lord, is that it is crucial to listen to that portion of evidence before this witness testifies.
But this witness is in the middle of a testimony.
The state decided to disclose a new evidence in the middle of the testimony, my lord.
No, but if I understand Mr. Baloyi, he says he initially did not intend to use that evidence. Am I quoting you correctly, sir?
Indeed, my lord. It was
I
just
listen when people talk.
for the purpose of being open and transparent
Yeah,
with the
and
defense.
it tells you we've had this.
My lord, the state may not be intending to use it, but as a defense also once it has been mentioned that the evidence is available.
You're entitled to it.
We're entitled at least to listen to it, my lord, so that we can be able to proper instructions whether we're on the same page with the
No,
state.
fine, I don't have a problem with that.
That we won't be using it because
They are
maybe
entitled to it because
Yes.
in terms of the case of State versus Shabalala, any information which is in the docket of the state, is it except A, B?
yes.
Hello? Is it sections A and B?
Yes.
The other information should be made available.
Yeah, B and C. In
Yeah,
fact,
sorry,
B and
the
C.
other way around.
Yes. And this one is part A, my lord.
Yeah, fine.
Yes.
So you may use it anyhow you want it. But all I'm saying is if it's used, it must form part of the record, obviously.
Because you may find out that the defense will be using it, my lord.
Yeah,
Yes.
no problem.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm asking for that opportunity to listen to this video now, my lord.
No. This witness is still under oath and she's testifying.
Yes.
She'll testify, finish her testimony, prepared to stand down, a cross-examination, then you can listen to whatever video or opname you want to listen to. Then Ms. Kronje comes and she's cross-examined by all of you. No problem.
No, it's fine, my lord, if the order is coming from the court that I cannot listen to that video until this witness finishes.
I never said that.
Oh.
I never said that.
My apologies, my
I
lord.
never said that.
My apologies, my lord.
I say you're entitled to that video.
Yes, my lord.
Yes.
Yes.
In terms of State versus Shabalala, you're entitled to it. He can't hide it away from you. But he can decide not to use it, like he says he intended not to use it, fine.
Yes.
But this witness has been sworn in. He's in the middle of a cross-examination, of evidence. Let her finish. And thereafter we stand down her cross-examination. In the meantime, anybody who wants to listen to the video or the recording can do so. So that when the cross-examination starts, we are fortified with the information in the video and everything. What's the problem there?
My lord, my request was that I'm asking for an opportunity to listen to this video now, my lord.
Now.
Yes, my lord.
And then this witness?
This witness can stand down.
Until when?
Maybe until 2 o'clock, I think we'll be done with that video.
No. Application is refused.
As the court pleases.
Just continue, Mr. Balwe.
As a court, please, I can also mention that the recording is 3 hours long.
That video is what?
The recording is 3 hours.
3 hours long.
Yes.
Good.
Ngaphambi kokuthi umshushusi aqale-ke udaba lana lumayelana nale recording umshushusi beke wakhuluma ngayo ngaphambilini ethi-ke unikezile abameli ngokukhulumisana-ke abameli bayacela-ke ukuthi banikezwe ithuba-ke lokuthi bayilalele ukuthi-ke ufakazi abanye abameli bathi ufakazi angaqhubeka uma umbuso usuqedile-ke ngaye banikezwe ithuba bahambe bayolalela base bayabuya-ke bambuze imibuzo umeli-ke ka-Chiefs number 5 yena uyacela-ke ukuthi cha ufakazi angaqhubeki-ke manje alalele noma abukeke leyo video noma leyo recording leyo abe uma seqedile-ke abuyeke ufakazi-ke noma ngo-2 kodwa-ke inkantolo ithi cha akaqhubeke-ke nanjengoba abanye abameli beshila ukuthi angaqhubeka mase kufika ithuba labo ukuthi babuze imibuzo bangabuzi kodwa bahambe bayolalela leyo recording leyo ngoba uthi umshushisi ithatha amahora awu-3 leyo recording.
Mevrouw Cronje, net voor die kortverdagging, ons was bij die gedeelte waar u die voorkomst van die deposant zijn gemoedstoestand op record geplaatst hebt. U kan voortgaan waar u opgehouden hebt.
Just before the short adjournment, we were on the part where you were now describing the appearance of the deponent as well as his condition. You can proceed from there.
Ek het aan die deposant gevra of hy enige mediese toestande of beserings wou rapporteer waarop hy geantwoord het I do not know or I do not want to report it.
Okay. I then asked the deponent if he had any medical condition or any injuries that he would like to report, and then yes.
I do not want to report if any medical conditions or injuries except had a heart problem and I haven't taken a bath since 16 June 2020. Dit was sy antwoord gewees.
That was his response. Lana-ke uphendulile-ke wathi uma ebuzwa ngokuthi unokulimala noma unaso yini isimo-ke esimhluphayo ngokwezempilo wathi-ke akukho-ke engifuna ukusho-ke mayelana-ke nezempilo noma-ke ukulimala ngaphandle nje ngokuthi-ke nganginenkinga-ke yezenhliziyo angikaze futhi-ke ngigezeke noma-ke ngithathe ibath ukusukela ngazo i-16 zikaJune 2020.
I informed the deponent that I am a magistrate and that I am not in any way involved in the investigation against him, that I do not work with the police or any other person in this case, and that he can speak freely and without fear in my presence.
Ngase ngimazisa-ke ngimtshela-ke ukuthi ngiwumantshi ukuthi-ke ayikho-ke indlela-ke engibandakanyeka ngayo-ke kuphenyo-ke lwalo noma kuphenyo ngakuyena nokuthi futhi angisebenzisane namaphoyisa noma-ke nawuphi-ke umuntu okuleli cala leli nokuthi-ke angakhuluma ngokukhululekile futhi angesabi ngikho.
Protection against any irregularities investigated by a senior police official.
Ngase ngimazisa-ke noma watshelwa-ke ukuthi uma ngabe isidingo sikhona-ke ukuthi uzonikezwa-ke ukuvikeleka noma-ke uzovikelwa-ke uma kukhona nje okungahambi ngendlela noma-ke okungahambi kahle nokuthi-ke uma nje kutholakala-ke ukutholakala ukuthi kukhona nje okungahambi noma ungenziwa kahle ngizokhulumisana ke nephoyisa ke eliphezulu ke ngesikhundla ukuthi alikuphenye lokho.
that this is not a trial and that I am not hearing any charge against him.
Nokuthi futhi lokhu ke akusikona ukuqulwa kwecala nokuthi ke angizanga lana noma ke angikho lapho ukuthi ke ngizolalela ke ukuthweswa kwakhe icala.
He was asked, do you understand this explanation and do you accept it as correct? And his answer was yes.
Ngambuza ukuthi uyakuzwisisa yini lokhu engichazayo nokuthi ke uyakwamukela ukuthi uku right yini noma kukahle. Impendulo yakhe yabe isithi ke yebo.
He was then asked, do you wish to comment or have anything to say in this regard?
Wasebuzwa ke ingaba kukhona yini ofisa ukuthi uphawule noma ke into ongayisho mayela nalokhu.
As a court, please, my lord, during the short adjournment, we further redacted the document, and amongst others is the answer that follows. I'll just beg leave to hand up this document that we further redacted. We made copies for all counsel.
Uyasho kumshutshisi ukuthi ngaphambili bekushiwo ke ukuthi sikhona ke izinto lezi ezisusiweke noma ezisuliweke enye yazo ke ile mpendulo ke bizonikezwa manje usunikezwa ke le copy lena ke umehluli lena lana ke le part lena aphendule khona ke isuliwe khona.
And amongst others is the whole answer that follows on that question.
Kanye futhi nayo yonke ke impendulo elandelayo kuloyo mbuzo loyo.
Mevrou Kronjekaneki from the antwoord oor te slaan.
Can I request you, Mrs. Cronje, just to skip the answer?
And
Does it appear the answer now? Mr. Baloyi, are you saying the answer appears there?
on the redacted version.
On her.
Yeah, she's got the original, my lord, yes.
You didn't redact it.
No, the original, we can't redact it as it might be used perhaps at the later stage, yes.
And this redaction is with the
Yes.
consent of all the councils.
Yes, we
and
put our
yourself.
we-
It's not an individual
No.
frolic of yours,
No, we all put our heads together
right?
and each made their inputs.
So it's by consent, in other
Yes,
words.
it's by consent. And we've made copies of such redacted version
Yeah.
of the statement.
Okay.
Lokhu ke futhi okusuliwe ke ukuvumelana ke phakathi komshushisi kanye nabo bonke ke abameli bavumeleneke ukuthi ke yini ke le ekufanele ukuthi ke isuke ngamanye amagama kuma kufundwa manje ingaveli ke manje ukuthi impendulo waphendula wathini.
Ek kan gaan na paragraaf 2.
Can go to paragraph 2.
Question was asked, who brought you to my office and for what reason? His answer,
Umbuzo wase uthi ke umbuzo ubani owakuletha ehhovisi lami futhi ekulethela siphi isizathu. Impendulo yakhe,
Kan ek dan vra om net te lees tot waar die sin eindig met officials.
can I just request you to just read the answer where it goes up to the officials or officials.
Sergeant Mugane, who was escorted by the Metro Police officials.
Impendulo yasithi ke ngilethwe uSergeant Mukhane owayekhashwa ke amaphoyisa ke noma iMetro Police.
Then what follows thereafter, my lord, was also redacted. Kan ek vra om die sin te lees wat begin, the police told me.
Oh, okay, sir.
The police told me to come to court to make a statement, and I also wanted to make a statement, and I am happy to make one.
Ya impendulo yakhe ke ithi amaphoyisa ke angitshela ukuthi ngize enkantolo ngizokwenza istatement. Nami ke ngiyafuna ukwenza istatement futhi ke ngenemeke futhi ngijabulileke futhi noma ngiyathokozela ke lokho.
Excuse me, net voor u voortgaan, as ek u net kan terugneem na die vorige bladsy 1.
If I can take you back to the previous page, page 1.
Daar heel onder, daar staan magistrate, deponent, interpreter, kan u net verduidelik Waarvoor staan dit?
Right at the bottom there is magistrate, deponent and interpreter. And why is that there?
Hierdie is onderaan elke bladsy gebring in die proforma vorm sodat al die partye in mekaar se teenwoordigheid elke bladsy onderteken en
this-
so het ek self dan as ook die deposant sy initials en die tolk ook haar initials aangebring op elke bladsy en die volle handtekeninge is dan aangebring op bladsy ek weet nie die bladsy is oorgenoem bladsy 8.
It is brought, my lord, or it is there at the bottom of this of each page, wherein myself, the deponent, as well as the interpreter, initials, and then on page 8, the full signatures appear there on.
Hierdie aantekeninge en is eers aangebring nadat die hele konfessie gevat is en dit weer teruggetolk is en die deposant aangedui het dat hy tevrede is, waarna ons almal in mekaar se teenwoordigheid die handtekeninge op elke bladsy aangebring het soos aangedui is.
Now these signatures on page 8, my lord, were then brought on or brought about after everything, or after the confession had been taken, after it was interpreted back to the deponent, after the deponent had indicated that he was satisfied with that which is contained, then each and every one of us then signed on this page.
In each other's presence.
Sorry.
In each other's presence.
Or in each other's presence, and yeah.
Ja, goed, ek kan teruggaan na waar ons opgehou het.
Can then go back.
Vraag 3 is nie aan hom gestel nie, aangesien dit nie van toepassing was in hierdie geval nie, en net betrekking het op 'n deposant wat minderjarig was, wat nie die geval was nie.
Question 3 was not put to him, saying that it was not applicable in this instance. It is only applicable to someone who is a minor. Page 3, sorry ke umbuzo wesithathu ke wona ke awubuzwanga ke wona ke ngoba ke umbuzo obuzwa kumuntu iminyaka yakhe noma ke oseneminyaka ke noma umuntu okufanele ukuthi amelwe umzali kodwa hayi umuntu osekhulile.
Ten spyte daarvan dat hy prokureur teenwoordig gehad het ek voortgegaan met vraag nommer 4 op bladsy 3.
As much as he had a lawyer, a legal representative present, I then went on and asked him question number 4, which is on page 3. Sorry, I just interpret the previous with regards to the statement. Khona nje engikushiyelele ngaphambilini lana ke ku page nganye ke la enzansi khona la kubhalwe khona magistrate lona ke futhi owenza istatement kanye notolika lapha khona ke bengasayini kodwa nje bekubekwa ama initials kodwa ke uma esechaza ke uthi laphana ku page 8 yila khona ke kunama signature onke noma ke uma sithi ke onke ukhuluma awakhe akatolika kanye ke naloyo obenikeza ke ngestatement lokho kwenzeka emuva kokuthi ke i-confession isibhaliwe phansi yatolikwe wase ke naye ke esho ukuthi wanelisekileke yiloko okubhaliwe yiloko okutolikiwe wonke umuntu wasayinda futhi umuntu ngamunye usayinda omunye ekhona.
Daar net net bo paragraaf 4 is daar 'n datumstempel en so ook op elke bladsy.
Just above question 4 there is a date stamp and also with regards to each and every page.
Kan jy net verduidelik hoekom is dit aangebring?
Can you just indicate as to why it is brought on?
Hierdie datumstempel het ek self persoonlik aangebring by die deurhaal van stukke wat nie van toepassing is nie waar ek geteken het en waar ek geparafeer het sodat dit net 'n aanduiding is van dat dit ek is wat dit gedoen het en die datum is waarop dit gedoen is.
The date stamp was brought on by myself, my lord, where in instances where it was not applicable, or the questions were not applicable, I then initialed and then put on the date stamp. Istamp lesike asibuzayo ke mtshutshisi mina ke ngasibeka la khona ke imibuzo khona ke eyayingenalutho la kwenza ke mayelana nemibuzo mina ke engangiyibuza ngangibeka istamp bese ke ngifaka ke ama initials.
Dis in die teenwoordigheid van al die partye gedoen.
That was done in the presence of all the parties. Kwenzeka lokho ke wonke umuntu ekhona.
Yes. En net voor u voortgaan, u het op 'n stadium genoem dat u rekenaar reggestel het toe u met die verrigtinge begin het.
Dis korrek.
You earlier on mentioned that you switched on your laptop just before you started with the proceedings. Yes, that is correct. Ushilo ngaphambilini ukuthi ke use uvula ke i-laptop yakho ngaphambilini kokuthi uqale. Yebo kuyiqiniso.
Was hierdie verrigtinge opgeneem?
With these proceedings recorded.
Dis korek.
That is correct. Yebo ke ufuna ukwazi ukuthi lokho kwakwenzeka kwa recordwa yini? Yebo kunjalo.
Die omstandighede verduidelik?
Can you then explain the circumstances? Ngachaza ke isimo.
En wanneer die opname begin het?
And when the recording started, nokuthi kwaqala nini ke ukwenziwa i-recording?
Hierdie betrokke opname het begin voordat ek begin het met die inskryf van die inligting van hierdie betrokke vorm.
This recording started just before I commenced with the completion of this form. Ukurekhoda lokho ke kwaqala ngaphambilini kokuthi mina ngiqale ukuthi ngibhale kuyona i-form. Yeah.
Die rede vir die opname is basies dat dit praktyk by my is as ek enige werk verrig in 'n kantoor en nie in die hof waar daar 'n formele opname is of gemaak kan word nie. Dan neem ek die verrigtinge in die kantoor op.
The reason for that, my lord, is that it is just practice to me that when I am doing work in an office environment, unlike in court where there is a recording, then I do my recording, my lord, when I'm doing it in the office. Ukuthi ke mina ke indlela ke ngenza ngayo noma engisebenza ngayo ukuthi uma ngisebenza ke ehhovisi ngenze ke lokho kubizwa ngokuthi ke i-recording ngoba ke uma ngingekho enkantolo ngoba enkantolo ke ikhona i-recording yakhona.
Dis meer 'n persoonlike keuse.
It is more a personal choice.
En ook vir my eie veiligheid.
And also for my own safety. Into ke mina ke ngayikhethela yona ke nokuvikeleka ke ngakuhlangothi ke lwami.
Was hierdie opname bedoel vir amptelike gebruik doeleindes?
Was this recording meant for official purposes? No. Ingaba lokho ke kwakwenzela noma le recording leyona ke yayenzelwe ukuthi ke izosetshenziswa noma ke official athi cha.
En was die partye ingelig dat daar opname gemaak word van die verrigtinge?
Were the parties informed that they were going to be recording of the proceedings?
Nee.
No. Abazange batshelwe ke labo ababekhona ke ukuthi ke lokho okwenziwayo ke ukuthi kuya recordwa.
Ekskuus ja, u kan voortgaan, u was by paragraaf 4.
May proceed, you were in paragraph 4.
Op bladsy 3.
Page 3.
I inform the deponent that any person who is in custody or has been arrested or any charge has the right to A. Be assisted by a legal representative of his choice. B. That if he cannot afford the services of a private legal representative, he has the right to apply to the Legal Aid Board for assistance, and that if he qualifies, the Legal Aid Board will supply an attorney free of charge. And C. That he is entitled to seek legal advice before making any statement to me.
Question 4 ke uthi ngase ngimchazela ke ukuthi nawuphi ke umuntu oboshiweke noma ovalelwe unelungelo ke noma kuyiliphi ke icala alithwesayo unelungelo lokuthi alekelelwe ummeli okhethwe uyena nokuthi uma kuukuthi ke angeke akwazike ukuthi akhokheleke ummeli oyimele ukuthi ke unelungelo lokuthi ke afakeke isicelo kuyona iLegal Aid Board ukuthi ke imlekelele nokuthi uma kuwukuthi ke utholakala ukuthi ke ukwisimo sokuthi angalekelelwe legal aid noma uyaqualifya ukuthi legal aid board ke izobe isimnikeza ke ummeli simahla ke engeke amkhokhele nokuthi ke unelungelo lokuthi ke aceleke noma izeluleko ke ngezomthetho ngaphambilini kokuthi enze istatement kumina.
His answer is, I understand.
Wasephendula ke ethi ngiyazwisisa.
Do you have a legal representative or do you wish to apply to a legal aid board for assistance? And if so, do you wish to consult with him before making any statements to me? His answer, Mr. Mjiaku is my attorney.
Mbuzo landelayo ke unayo yini ummeli onayo noma ke ufisa ukuthi wenze isicelo kuyona ilegal aid board ukuthi ke ikulekelele noma ukuthi uma kunjalo ke ufisa ukuthi ukhulumisane noma uconsult naye yini ngaphambilini kokuthi wenze istatement kumina. Impendulo yakhe yathi ke umnumzana uMjiyako noma uMr Mjiyako uyena ummeli wami.
I caution the deponent that he is under no obligation whatsoever to make a statement, and that if he chooses to do so, it will be reduced to writing as he speaks and may later be used against him as evidence in court. The deponent is asked if he understands this explanation, and his answer was yes.
Ngase ngimexwayisa ke ukuthi akaphoqelekile nangayiphi indlela ukuthi enze istatement noma uma kuukuthi ke ukhetha ukuthi enze kanjalo ukuthi lokho akushoyo ke kuzobhalwa phansi noma ngizobhala phansi ke nanjengoba ekhuluma ekungathi kamuva ke kusetshenziswe nanjengobufakazi enkantolo. Wase ebuzwa ke ukuthi uyakuzwa yini lokho ngichazayo. Impendulo yakhe yathi yebo.
Question was asked, do you still wish to make a statement notwithstanding the fact that it may be used as evidence against you? His answer is yes.
Umbuzo landelayo ke usafisa yini noma usafuna yini ukuthi ke wenze istatement ke sengishilo ke kuwena ukuthi kungasetshenziswa nanjengobufakazi. Yasithi impendulo yakhe yebo.
I informed the deponent that he has the right to remain silent and that nobody can force him to make a statement, and that if he chooses to make a statement, nobody can force him to divulge any self-incriminating information. His answer, I understand.
Ngase ngimazisa ke ukuthi unelungelo lokuthula ke angasho lutho nokuthi akekho umuntu ongamphoqa ukuthi enze istatement nokuthi uma kuukuthi ke unquma ke ukuthi asenze istatement akekho umuntu ongamphoqa ukuthi akhulumeke into ezombophezela yena ke noma into ezofaka yena ke kulokho azobe ekusho. Impendulo yakhe yathi ke ngiyezwa.
Do you wish to remain silent or do you wish to continue to make a statement? His answer, I want to continue to make a statement.
Ingabe ufisa ukuthula ungasho lutho noma ufisa noma ufuna ukuqhubeka wenze istatement? Impendulo yakhe ke yathi ngifuna ukuqhubeka ngenze istatement.
Have you used any product that contains alcohol or any drug with a narcotic effect in the last 24 hours? His answer, no.
Ingaba kulamahora awu-24 andlule wayebuzwa ke ngaleso sikhathi ukuthi sikhona yini isidakamizwa sisebenzisile noma ke iproduct enotshwala ke ngaphakathi kulamahora awu-24 andlule. Impendulo yakhe yathi cha.
From the above mentioned questions and answers, it appears to me that the deponent is in his sane and sober senses, and it was required then to indicate whether the deponent appears to be nervous, anxious, relaxed, tearful, jovial, etc., and also whether he has any special request. It was recorded that the deponent was very relaxed, he was calm, he maintained eye contact when questions were asked, first with the interpreter and then with myself. He then made a request as follows: I request a bath to contact my family and have an exchange of clothes and to call my child.
Lana ke kule mibuzo ke lena ke endlulile kanye futhi nazo-ke iy'mpendulo-ke kuyabukeka-ke kumina-ke ukuthi lona-ke ngihlezi naye noma engikhulumisana naye-ke usemqondweni ngokuphelele kwase kuchazwa-ke lana ukuthi chaza-ke noma-ke indlela-ke abukeka ngayo ubukela ethukile yini noma enervous ubukeka relaxed epholile yini noma ubukeka eney'nyembezi ubukeka eneme noma-ke ethokozile noma futhi sikhona-ke isicelo anaso lana-ke ngase kubhala-ke ukuthi-ke hayi cha-ke lo muntu lona-ke akatatazeli urelaxed ukham kanye futhi-ke uyabhekana-ke akusuwukuthi umuntu obalekisa-ke noma ugijimisa-ke amehlo wenza lento abayibiza ngesilungu ukuthi-ke i-eye contact uma kuwukuthi-ke imibuzo noma ephendula imibuzo okokuqala uma ekhulumisana naye utolika okwesibili uma ekhuluma nami isicelo-ke awasenza ngicela ukuthi ngigeze ukuthi-ke ngixhumane nomndeni wami nokuthi futhi ngishintshe-ke iy'mpahla noma ingubo lezi engiyigqokile nokuthi-ke ngishayele ucingo ingane yami.
I now asked the deponent to tell me in his own words how he came to be brought to my office to make this statement.
Ngase-ke okulandelayo ngimbuza-ke ukuthi angitshele ukuthi kwenzeka kanjani ngokusho kwakhe ukuthi kwenzeka kanjani ukuthi alethwe ehhovisi lami azokwenza sona istatement lesi.
My Lord, also as far as this paragraph is concerned, certain portions have been redacted. From the lees tot waar die sin eindig met die woord death, dan die volgende twee sinne oor te slaan en te begin met die sin wat begin, I was arrested on the 16th.
Okay, sorry. Can I just request you to read up until where it ends with a death and then skip the next two sentences and start where it says, I was arrested on the 16th.
His answer to the question, the police called me and asked me if I know of Senzo Meyiwa's death.
Lana-ke impendulo yakhe-ke ifundeka ngale ndlela. Amaphoyisa aqhumana-ke nami noma-ke angishayela-ke ucingo angibuza-ke ukuthi ngiyazi yini mayelana nokushona. Okay. Lana bhala Senzo Maye nokushona-ke kwakhe uSenzo Maye.
Yeah, just spell that name as it appears there.
M-A-Y-E-W-A-S.
Oh, the same word. Okay. Lana-ke kubhale, okay. Amaphoyisa angishayela ucingo angibuza-ke ukuthi ngiyazi yini mayelana nokushona kwakhe-ke uSenzo Meyiwa. Yes. Yeah, Senzo Meyiwa.
How would you pronounce it? Who shall it say?
I heard it as Senzo Meyiwa and I wrote it as I heard it.
Engayizwa-ke mina ngendlela engayizwa ngayo ngezwa nanjengoSenzo Meyiwa ngase ngiyibhala ngaleyo ndlela engayizwa ngayo.
Goed, je kan voortgaan. I was arrested.
I was arrested on the 16th. I saw no progress.
Sorry, you can proceed.
I didn't see or understand what was going on. I didn't understand when I was supposed to appear in court. I knew I was arrested. If one is arrested, they have to appear in court. I decided to come to court. I called my attorney and told him I wanted to come to court.
Lana-ke ngaboshwa noma elandelayo-ke ngaboshwa ziwu-16 ngase ngibona-ke kungenanqubekela phambili ngangingasazi-ke noma-ke nginga-understandi ukuthi-ke kwenzekani ukuthi kwangani-ke ukuthi ngingaveli-ke enkantolo ngangazi-ke ukuthi noma kuyinto engiyaziyo-ke ukuthi uma kuwukuthi umuntu uboshiwe lo muntu lowo kufanele-ke ukuthi ayovela-ke phambi kwemantshi noma kavele-ke enkantolo ngase ngithatha isinqumo-ke sokuthi ngize enkantolo ngashayela-ke ummeli wami ngamtshela ukuthi ngifuna ukuza enkantolo.
The following questions are now put to the department. Do you have any injuries or bruises of any kind? If so, please show them to me if it is possible for you to do so.
Yile mibuzo elandelayo ke ase eyibuzwa ke ukuthi unayo yini imihuzuko onayo noma ke ukulimala noma ke kwayiphi ke indlela uma ke kunjalo ngicela ke ungitshengise noma ungikhombise ke uma kukwazi ke ukuthi kwenzeke lokho.
Answer, no, except old injuries sustained while I worked underground, the one I got when I was very young, and the one I got when I was very young.
Wase ephendula ke ethi cha ngaphandle nje kokuthi ke ngalimala ke noma ke amanxeba ke amadala engawathola ke nkathi ke ngangisebenza ke ngaphansi ke egodini elinye futhi ke ngalithola ke ngisemncane.
Who inflicted these injuries on you, and how were it, and where did it happen? It was repeated, and I then referred to paragraph A.
Ukuthi ubani ke owakulimaza nokuthi ke kwenzeka kanjani noma kwenzeka kuphi ke wase ephinda ke lempendulo ke ebesenikeziwe ngapha ingakho ke lana ngishilo ke ukuthi ke ebheka ke ku paragraph A.
I reported and recorded my observation, and it was recorded in brackets: no noticeable recent injuries, a scar healed on the right side forehead, allegedly sustained when he was very young.
Ngase ngibhala phansi ke lokho engikubonayo ke noma ke uma ngimbuka ke ukuthi ke awekho ke amanxeba ke abonakalayo ke noma ke kunesika esikhona ke kuhlangothi la ngaku right ke ekhanda futhi ke kubonakala ukuthi ke sesipholile ke nokuthi nokusho ukuthi ngathola ke ngisemncane noma ke lokho kulimala ngakuthola ngisemncane.
It was then instructed as per this former to note the particulars of any visible injuries and to ask the department if he agrees with what has been recorded. The court, myself, recorded 2 scars, injuries on the right side of the forehead and a small scar above the left brow, both already healed. The second scar was pointed out by him during this process.
Lana ke ile form ke iyachazela ke ukuthi uma ke kuloko kubonayo ke uma kukhona ukulimala okubonakalayo okubonayo ke wena ke nokuthi ke umbuze ke ukuthi uyavumelana yini nalokho okubhaliwe. Ngibhale lana ke ika ezimbili esoqala ke kuhlangothi la ngaku right ke la esiphongweni kanye futhi ke nesika esincane nje ngaphezulu lana ke kwehlo noma ke kweshiya ke lona ke leso isika sona sakhonjwa uyena ke kuyena ke le process uyena wangikhombisa sona.
The department's comments: yes, both sustained as a small child when my grandmother tried to hit a chicken and the blow landed on my forehead.
Lana ke inqa ukuchaza kwakhe ke noma ke uma yena ke sengichazela ukuthi yebo ke zoyimbili ke ngalimala ke ngisemncane ila khona ke ugogo wami ke wayizama ke ukuthi ashaye inkukhu kodwa ngeshwa ke wase eshaya mina.
He was asked, did the police or any other person assault or threaten you to make this statement? Answer, no, not at all.
Umbuzo landelayo ke ngama amaphoyisa noma nje noma uyimuphi umuntu ke owakushaya noma owakusabisa ke ukuthi wenze le statement cha naka lutho nje.
Did anyone influence you to make this statement? Answer, no, I decided on my own.
Ingabe ukhona yini umuntu owaba nomthelela ukuthi wena uzokwenza lesi statement lesi cha isinqumo engayithathela mina?
Did anyone encourage you to make the statement? Answer, no.
Khona yini owagqugquzela ukuthi wenze le statement cha?
Were any promises made to you to persuade you to make the statement? Answer, no.
Ngaba ikhona yini izithembiso ezenziwa kuwena ukuthi ke noma ke ukugqugquzela ukuthi ke wenze statement lesi? Impendulo yathi cha.
Do you expect to derive any benefits from making the statement? Answer, no, not at all.
Ngaba kukhona yini ofisa ukuthi ukuzuze noma ukuthole ngokwenza lesi statement? Impendulo yathi cha.
The department is now informed that he cannot expect any benefits whatsoever from making the statement. The importance of this aspect is now stressed to him, and he's asked whether he understands this Is answer, yes, I understand, and I was never promised anything.
Lana ke useyachazelwa ke manje ukuthi ke ungalindeli lutho ke noma ungalindeli ke ukuzuza noma ukuthola noma yini ke ngokwenza sona ke lesi statement futhi ke nokubaluleka ke kwalokhu kuyagcizelelwa ke manje ukuthi ke akuzwe noma ke ukuthi uyabuza ukuthi uyakuzwisisa yini lokho. Yebo ngiyakuzwa futhi ke angikaze ngithenjiswe lutho.
Seeing that you can't expect any benefits from making the statement, do you still wish to continue to make the statement? Answer, yes.
Nanjengoba ke manje ke swazi ke noma ke ukuthi ke akukho nje inzuzo noma ke ongayilindela ke ukuthi ukukhona ongakuthola, usafisa yini ukuthi uqhubeke wenze le statement? Impendulo yathi yebo.
Have you made a similar statement previously? And if so, when and to who? Answer, no.
Ingabe sikhona yini istatement saloluhlobo noma esikanjena ke osenzileke ngaphambilini? Uma kuukuthi kunjalo kubani wase ethi ke cha asikho.
You have now told me that you were not influenced, encouraged, assaulted or threatened to make the statement, and that no promises were made to you in order to persuade you to do so. I wish to once again ask you to take me into your confidence and tell me if in your opinion anything irregular has been said or done to influence you to make a statement. I undertake to ensure that your allegations are immediately and properly followed up and attended to. Answer, no, nothing of that sort.
Manje usungitshelile ke ukuthi ke akaze kube nomuntu onomthelela, awukazi uqhuqhuzelwe, ushaywe noma usatshiswe ukuthi wenze le statement lesi, nokuthi ke azikho izithembiso ezenziwe kuwena ukuthi ke wenze noma ke ukushintsha ke umqondo ukuthi wenze kanjalo. Ngifisa ke manje ke futhi ke ukuthi ngikubuze noma ngikutsheleke ukuthi ngicela ungethembeke noma ungitshele ukuthi ngovo lwakho kukhona yini into engahambanga ngendlela noma engeziwanga ngendlela noma ke eshiwo kuwena ekwenzile ukuthi ke kube nomthelela ukuthi uzokwenza le statement lesi. Ngiyakuthembisa ke ukuthi insolo zakho zothi zilandelweke futhi ke zinakwe. Cha akukho nje ayikho nje into ekanjalo.
Do you understand everything that I have explained to you, or is there anything that I need to explain again? Answer, I understood very well.
Ingabe uyakuzwisisa uyakuzwa konke engichazele kodwa noma kukhona ofisa ukuthi ngichaze futhi? Impendulo yathi ke ngikuzwe kahle.
The deponent then made a statement.
Wase ke manje enza ke istatement sakhe.
Yes, we can proceed. Read the rest of the...
The deponent made his statement, which was attached hereto as Annexure A. The statement is reduced to writing as he speaks and is written down in the deponent's own words. The statement consists of 6 pages marked 1 to 6. Each of these pages must also be signed by the magistrate, deponent and interpreter, which was done in each other's presence.
Manje ke useyasenza ke istatement sakhe sikhona ke esihlanganisiwe ke lana esiu-Annexure A. Istatement leso ke senziwa ke ku page entsha futhi ke sibhalwa phansi ke nanjengoba ekhuluma futhi ke kubhalwa amazwi akhe ke lawo awashoyo. Le statement lesi ke sinama page awu-6 aphawuleke upage 1 kuyofika ke ku-6 ukuthi ipage ngayodwa ke kufanele isayindwe ke umagistrate loyo ke owenza statement kanye notolika.
Now questions are asked, except such questions as are necessary to clarify aspects of the statement which are unclear. Such questions, if any, and the answers thereto are clearly indicated as such. The statement is made in Zulu language and interpreted into English by the interpreter.
ayikho ke imibuzo ebuzwayo ke ngaphandle nje kwemibuzo la ekungacacile khona ke ecalwa ukuthi ke achazwe noma acaciseke uma kukhona nje ongazwisiki kahle imibuzo enjalo ke uma ngabe ikhona ke kanye nezimpendulo zakhona ke zibhalwa ke ngaleyo ndlela ke istatement esenziwe ngesizulu sabe sesiyahunyushwa ke hunyushwa ngeSingisi noma ke ngeEnglish uyena utolika.
The statement is read back to the deponent and translated by the interpreter.
Istatement ke uyasifundelwa ke manje futhi ke sibe sesihunyushwa ke uyena utolika.
The deponent is asked whether he confirms the content of the statement as correct, and he answered yes.
Useyabuzwa ke ukuthi manje ke lokhu okubhaliwe ke ku kanjalo ke noma ku right yini waphendula wathi yebo.
Statement is signed by the deponent by means of his signature.
Wase uyasayinda ke ngokuthi ke abeke isignature yakhe.
Statement is also signed by the interpreter and by myself.
Sisayindwa na uyena ke utolika kanye futhi nami ke.
The date stamp was put and the time of completion indicated as 20 minutes past 5 the afternoon.
Istempu ke lapha ke sesichaza idate ke sibekiwe nesikhathi ke ekwaqedwa ngaso ekwaku 20 past 5 emini.
Certificate by the interpreter was also completed and attached and signed by all present. With reference to the interpreter, the deponent and the magistrate.
Sikhona ke ne-certificate lapha ke ekuyi-certificate sakhe ke utolika sisayindwe uyena ke umuntu magistrate lapha nezansi yena ke lo wenza statement ubekela ama-initials wakhe kanye naye utolika.
Yes, you've already referred to the copies of the three police officers.
It was also attached and initialed by the interpreter and the deponent.
Kanye nala makopi ke amathathu awo amaphoyisa nawo ke abekiwe ke nama attachiwe ke afakiwe lana ase futhi initial uyena utolika kanye naye ke lo wayenza statement.
I stamped these documents.
Mina ke ngase ngibeka nje stamp lama document.
The stamp used is a stamp that was allocated to me in person and signed out to me as magistrate.
Istamp lesi ke istamp ke engasinikwa ke futhi ke esasayindwa ke sayindelwa kumina ke nanjengomantshi.
Do you confirm the correctness of this document?
Correct.
Exhibit JJ.
The document ke ngivumelana ukuthi ke iqiniso noma kuyiqiniso ke lokho okula.
What did you do with the document Exhibit JJ after the proceedings?
After the parties left the office, that includes the interpreter, the deponent, his attorney, I then handed the document to Mrs. Duplessis.
Emuva kokuthi bese behambe bonke ke ummeli lona ke wenza istatement utolika ngase ngithatha ke mina idocument lena ke le ebekubhala kuyona ke ngayindlulisela ku Mrs. Duplessis.
She then made copies for the files and handed me a copy later that week.
Wasenza ke amakopi ke ayezoya ke kwi file wanginikeza nami ke icopy kamuva ke kulelo viki lelo.
Nou, na afloop van die verrigting, van die afneem van die verklaring, wat het toe daarna gebeur?
Now after the proceedings, now after taking down the confession, what then happened?
Dis nou met betrekking tot die partye wat in die kantoor was.
With regards to the parties that were present in the office.
Die party het my kantoor verlaat en nadat ek alles opgepak het en ek die kantoor verlaat het, was hulle nie meer in sig in die gang gewees nie en het ek hulle nie gesien nie.
After the parties then left and after I had packed everything and I also left the office, they were not in sight anymore and I also didn't see them in the passage. Angibabonanga ke emuva kokuthi sengiqoqe konke ngase ngiphuma ke kulelo office lelo babe bengekho ke nalapho kuleyo passage leyo babe ngekho ngaphambilini ushilo ke futhi nokuthi ke wase ethatha ke le document lena wayinikeza ngayo ku Mrs. Duplessis owenza ke amakopi amanye wafaka ke ku file kamuva ke kulelo viki wamnikeza nayo.
En meneer Mjiako, die prokureur wat die deposant bijgestaan het, het hy in die kantoor gebly vir die duur van die afneem van die verklaring.
Dis korrek.
Mr. Mjiako, who represented the deponent or assisted the deponent, was he in the office for the duration of the taking of the confession? That is correct. Yebo, Mr. Mjiako wayekhona ngaso sonke leso sikhathi leso i-confession lena ke ibhalwa ke noma ithathwa.
As ek kan vra om te gaan na paragraaf 9 op bladsy 4.
If I can ask you to go to paragraph 9 of page 4.
Veral die laaste gedeelte van daardie paragraaf.
The last part of that paragraph.
I decided I want to come to court. I called my attorney and told him I want to come to court. Hoe was u gekleed op die betrokke dag?
Ek self.
Ja, was u in hofklere aangekleed of in privaat klere?
How were you clad on that day? Were you in your court regalia or were you in your private clothes?
Ek het nie my toga aangetree nie. Ek het was in gewone siviele drag geklee gewees.
I didn't have my robe on. I was in my normal civilian clothing. Ngangayifakile ke igown noma irobe yami ke yoba umantshi ngangigqoke nje impahla zami.
The court, please, my lord, those are the aspects that we wanted to take up with the witness in light of the discussion earlier on. May the cross-examination then stand down until tomorrow.
Yeah.
Arrangements were made for Colonel Mboto to be here. Can we then adjourn until 2? I think he should be here, but I haven't inquired as to whether he's present. I'm told he is here.
Okay. Die is verwittig dat u moet afstaan vir kiesondervraging môre. Is dit dan die
We're informed to stand down for examination until tomorrow.
Okay, no problem. See you tomorrow. Rose. Mas ik wat la fijn in.
We've just been in discussion with my colleagues as to whether we're proceeding with Mboto today or whether they want to listen to the recordings. I think they would.
Where does Mboto come from? Natal. He's in retirement. He's told me he's retired.
Yes.
In Natal.
Yes.
If he's here, we've got to assist him.
As a court,
because, I mean, really.
As a court, please.
Unless he himself chooses to say he wants to sleep over.
I foresee that the examined.
Yeah, Mr. Mgomezulu, just make your application so that it's on records of the recalling of whatever.
Court pleases, my lord.
Yes, sir.
My lord, I have an instruction to bring an application for the recalling of Colonel Mboto, who has finalized his testimony and he was cross-examined in terms of section 167 of Act 51 of 1977.
Is it not Act? Is it not section 166, subsection 3?
167, the recalling of
Is
the...
it 167?
That's correct, my lord.
Okay. Hello? I see.
Just confirm.
This is the court, madam.
Yeah, just check. Is section what?
It's in terms of section 167.
Oh, sir, yeah.
Run together with 186, my lord. The one, as I said before, is the court Meromoti calling the witness, the other is the defense making an application to recall the witness, but they are read together, my lord. As the court proceeds.
Yeah, so it's 167, Mr. Mugumezulu.
That's correct, madam.
Subsection 3.
Subsection 3.
We are quoting only that. or
Only that aspect
We are
only.
reading it together with 186,
That's correct, my lord.
right? And also what?
That is all. That will be in relation to the cross-examination of the witness on certain aspects.
Yeah, you are aware of the provisions of the law. I mean, you're a senior counsel, are you not?
I'm aware, my lord.
Right. Just to recap, Colonel Mboto has already testified. Is that not so?
That's correct, my lord.
And he has already been cross-examined. Right?
That's correct, my lord.
The law stipulates, I'm saying they must bring the decisions. It is tried that once a witness has been cross-examined, it's possible for you to make an application and forward or present cogent, plausible reasons why the witness should be recalled. In this case, Mboto has completed his evidence, in other words. The only aspect which I think you are making an application for is that he must be recalled. But you recall that he was cross-examined by an officer of this court, Attorney
Mr.
Ramusipidi.
Correct.
And the law says no two legal representatives. But this court, in fairness to you, I'll quote you the decisions. State versus Basson, State versus Yanti, where the principle is reiterated that legal representatives who represent a single witness are not, without leave of the court, permitted to cross-examine jointly that witness. If one legal representative like you are seated here, Mr. Ramusipidi is cross-examined, that is the end of the matter, unless there are extraordinary and compelling circumstances which impel you to recall this witness. And as I understand you, it is, you want this witness to be recalled for further evidence, for further cross-examination. The way I understand the law, whatever he has testified to and whatever he was cross-examined on cannot be, as a matter of course, be repeated. Is that not so, sir?
That's so. That is correct, ma'am.
All right.
That
Let's quote the authorities, because people will say, hey, you Judge Lily, hey. Yeah. Let's just first read, you can do it that, Mr. Ngumezulu. Let's just first read section 167, subsection 3. Maybe start with the whole section so that for the uninitiated it flows logically.
My lord,
No, I know you know the law, but just read it. So
may, I
that this
request, may I request my colleague
to read it? Yeah, fine.
For eyesight
Oh,
problem.
is that so?
Yes.
Mr. Ramusipidi. What is it?
My lord, if I may read, section 167 in particular refers to, and I quote, 167, the court may examine a witness or a person in attendance. That deals with when the person is recalled by a court. Should I read that, my lord?
Yeah, read it.
Okay. The court may, at any stage of criminal proceedings, examine any person other than an accused who has been subpoenaed to attend such proceedings or who is in attendance at such proceedings, and may recall and re-examine any person, including an accused already examined at the proceedings, and the court shall examine or recall and re-examine the person concerned if the evidence appears to the court essential to the just decision of the case. And then let's go to section 186. It says, the court may subpoena a witness. The court may, at any stage of criminal proceedings, subpoena or cause to be subpoenaed any person as a witness at such proceedings, and the court shall so subpoena a witness or so cause a witness to be subpoenaed if the evidence of such a witness appears to the court essential to the just decision of the case.
Yeah, fine.
Okay. Is that what this is?
Yeah, so if we are at idem with the law, let's just adumbrate the principle, just in case this case goes any other place. This is the case of the state versus Yanta. The citation is 2001 in brackets SACR 287. It's a judgment by Van Zyl, as he was when he was in the High Court of the Transkei. I'll just read the last sentence, paragraph, which is important in my view. Finally, a matter that requires mention relates to the procedure adopted by the magistrate at the hearing of the application for bail. The appellant was represented by two attorneys who were permitted by the magistrate to take part in the conduct of the case to the extent that they were both allowed to cross-examine each witness. Mr. Carpenter, who appeared on behalf of the state, submitted that the procedure was irregular, as I do. I agree with the submission. When an accused person has more than one legal representative, only one may then cross-examine a particular witness. C. Ferreira, Strafproces and Rove, second edition at page 387, and see also Pretoria's cross-examination in South Africa and South African law at page 132, and see also Wigmore on evidence, volume 3, paragraph 783. The ratio against such a practice is to protect a witness from being exposed to protracted cross-examination and not to unnecessarily prolong the proceedings. Wigmore, cited at paragraph 783, explains it as follows. This tradition rests on the wise policy of protecting the witness from undue and confusing interrogation, as well as securing a system and brevity by giving the control of the interrogation to a single hand. Although the procedure adopted by the magistrate in the present case or the present matter was irregular, it did not in any way prejudice the appellant and does not affect the validity of the proceedings. Right? Hatzenbeck also, in the case of the state versus Basson, who was popularly known as Dr. Death, had this to say. He says it's in Afrikaans, exalted Modius. On page 533, the citation is State versus Basson, 2001 to SACR 537. Ratzenbeck, as he was in this division, had this to say. Dit word aanvaar deur die stad dat daar 'n praktyk reël van toeka se daai bestaan wat prysverhoor van een getuie deur meer as een regsverteenwoordiger van 'n besondere litigant verbied is. It's not allowed. Die argument is egter dat 'n buitengewone omstandighede die hof 'n diskresie het om af te wyk van die reël en dat hierdie sake omstandighede is. Ek moet aantoon dat die verdediging wat die aansoek teenstaan toegee dat die hof en so 'n diskresie het maar aangevoer dat in hierdie geval die hof nie behoort af te wyk van die reël nie. Volgens Wigmo en Evidence, derde volume, bladsy 783 en die bogemelde reël gebaseer op 'n wyse beleid om getuies te beskerm van onnodige en verwarrende tuisondervraging en om 'n kort en kragtenstelsel te versigtig en verstyg. Die reël is 'n ononthowe gevolg. Nie een van die advokate kon 'n geval uitwees waaronder normale omstandighede daardie reël afgewyk is nie. Ja, he says, not in South Africa. Once a witness has been cross-examined by one of the attorneys or advocates representing an accused person. Once that cross-examination has been done by, for instance, Mr. Mgomezulu, Mr. Ramusipidi is not entitled as of right to do that because, as they say, cross-examination, although it is a right encapsulated in section 35.3 of the Constitution, it is not an absolute right. But me, being fair, I'm going to do like Basson in this case, where he allowed two sets of advocates to cross-examine because the charges were voluminous. And so he was justifiably entitled to use his discretion to advance the completion of the case like I'm doing. I'm going to relax that rule and with the proviso that what has been discussed and cross-examined by your colleague Ramusipidi is not to be done. Actually, I was intending that the record of the proceedings between Colonel Mboto, the cross-examination, the examination and the cross-examination by Mr. Musipidi must be at hand so that if you wander away from that evidence and cross-examination, I must be able to tell you that. But I take it as an officer of this court, you have heard me. So the cross-examination is allowed on condition that it goes from what was cross-examined here to aspects which you believe, after your consultation with your clients, those aspects were not covered by Mr. Ramusipidi. Okay.
Court, please, my lord. My lord, may I be...
Let's hear your learned brother. Maybe any comment, Munir?
As a court, please, my lord. Well, firstly, the sections quoted by my learned friend, I don't think they're applicable.
It's not 167, it's 166. Is that not
yes.
so? Just read 166.
166, my lord, states...
That's what gives you the right in terms of our constitution,
yes.
our Criminal Procedure Act to cross-examine. 167 deals with where you want to recall a witness, etc., etc.
Yes, but 166 deals generally with the cross-examination of
yes, just read that.
subsection 1 of section 166. The heading is cross-examination and re-examination of
That's
witnesses. An accused may cross-examine any witness called on behalf of the prosecution at criminal proceedings, or any co-accused who testifies at criminal proceedings, or any witness called on behalf of such co-accused at criminal proceedings. And the prosecutor may cross-examine any witness, including an accused, called on behalf of the defense at criminal proceedings, and a witness called at such proceedings on behalf of the prosecution may be re-examined by the prosecutor on any matter raised during cross-examination of that witness, and a witness called on behalf of the defense at such proceedings may likewise be re-examined by the accused. Subsection 2, the prosecutor and the accused may, with leave of the court, examine or cross-examine any witness called by the court at criminal proceedings. And then subsection 3A, if it appears to a court that any cross-examination contemplated in this section is being protracted unreasonably and thereby causing the proceedings to be delayed unreasonably, the court may request the cross-examiner to disclose the relevancy of any particular line of examination and impose reasonable limits on the examination regarding the length thereof or regarding any particular line of examination. And subparagraph B, the court may order that any submission regarding the relevancy of the cross-examination be heard in the absence of the witness. My Lord, the court has outlined what the legal position is, and it's clear that from the authorities quoted by the court that cross-examination by more than one counsel should not be allowed unless the defense demonstrate exceptional circumstances. And in this instance, my Lord, we haven't heard what those exceptional circumstances are. So we submit, my Lord, that as it was mentioned in the Basson's case, that this rule can only be relaxed if exceptional circumstances are demonstrated. We would request that the defense should, the court has already made a ruling, but our view is that the defense must
Yes, Mr. Ngomezulu.
Mr. Ramsipid, the application,
Yes, I have.
but especially on the submission that the state has made regarding the exceptional circumstances. It would be exceptional circumstances could not be established at the moment, despite the fact that the court has already made a ruling. Furthermore, Your Lordship, is that it will be a difficult practical exercise without the transcripts of the examination in chief and the cross-examination to pinpoint the questions that are relevant in order to establish what could be exceptional circumstances that may warrant the witness to be re-examined, to be cross-examined again by another counsel. In the circumstances, as I've indicated, my instruction is to abandon the application despite the order of the court.
Okay.
Court, please.
No, thanks.
ukuthi bekunesicelo sokuthi uKenneth Mboto aphinde abizwe futhi senziwe leso sicelo uyena-ke u-advocate uMngomezulu noma-ke ebesebuziwe-ke imibuzo uyena-ke uMr. Ramusipili. Inkantolo ibisifunda-ke amacala athile-ke ayisibonelo noma-ke asetshenziswayo-ke nanjengomzekelo achazayo-ke ukuthi akuvumelekile-ke ngokomthetho ukuthi lapho na-ke umsolwa noma-ke abasolwa benommeli asithi mhlawumbe ababili-ke noma abathathu ukuthi uma omunye ummeli sebuzile nowesibili futhi ommele kwaleyo msola oyedwa nayo-ke aphinde abuze imibuzo ufakazi bese buziwe. Kodwa-ke yanquma inkantolo ukuthi cha, noma kukanjalo kodwa izobanikeza-ke ithuba lokuthi cha uKenneth Mbotho nekhosikazi ukuthi akaphinde abizwe. Kodwa-ke manje uma sebephinde bakhulumisana-ke abameli bona-ke bobabili bathi cha-ke uma kuzodingeka-ke ukuthi akuphinde futhi kuyolalelwa irekhodi ukuthi-ke umshushisi ekhulumisana ngani kanye noKenneth Mbotho Mr. Ramusipile yini ambuze yona, babona-ke ukuthi cha angeke-ke ukuthi manje-ke abasaqhubekeki naleso sicelo leso, noma inkantolo-ke ibisibavumele ukuthi cha basengambiza-ke uKenneth Mbotho. Kusho ukuthi-ke ummeli ka-Accused number 1 and number 2 abasaqhubekeki ngaleso sicelo sokuthi uKenneth Mbotho aphinde abizwe.
Okay, where's Kenneth Mbotho? He still has to come anyway, depending, of course, on the exigency whether. Yeah,
Yes.
he still has to come.
The ruling that
Yeah,
is
of
going to be
course.
made at the end, yes.
Yeah. Hello. Oh, Mr. Ramsey, I thought you were saying something. Okay, so we adjourn until tomorrow.
That's a good
And then for this evening, councils, all of councils who are involved, then they must listen to the tape, the recording, so that when we come tomorrow with the cross-examination, the cross-examination must not be staggered on the basis that asilalelanga the tape, we didn't listen to the tape, we didn't listen to the recording. So the afternoon should be used for listening to that recording. I'm told it's 3 hours.
Yes.
And then tomorrow then we start adjourn for the cross-examination of Mrs. Kronje. Is he coming tomorrow?
Yes, yes.
Leyo sizobonana kusasa.
Okay, the court will adjourn.